Today we will talk about the importance of dietary choline and the physiological rules of dietary choline. An egg is a very good source of dietary choline. So what is egg? It is a very simple definition that egg is a female germ cell, and the egg which we get from the chicken, it contains many nutrients and vitamins which are very necessary or essential for our body. And but the egg, the nutrient which contain in the egg, it is all for the growth and development of the chicks, and it is also a natural package for our body because it contains almost many nutrients or the vitamins which is necessary for our body. And egg has two portions, egg white and egg yolk. And egg white is very rich in protein, and egg yolk, it contains cholesterol or the fat. And because of that, many people are afraid to take the egg yolk. They prefer to take the egg white. So egg yolk is a hepatic origin, and egg white is synthesized and secreted in the habitat. We will not talk detail about this cholesterol or the many components of the egg, but we are talking mostly about the dietary choline. Why it is necessary? Dietary choline is necessary for the functioning of our cell, almost all cells of the body, and it is a component of the cell membrane, that is phospholipid, phosphatidylcholine. And it gives, because it is a component of the cell membrane, it gives the structural integrity and the signaling function of the cell. Choline is also used as a neurotransmitter. It is a component of neurotransmitter, that is acetylcholine, and it also helps in lipid transportation. It is a very important role in brain development and neural tube closure and lifelong memory and learning functions. So the neurotransmitter, we know that a neuromuscular junction where the axonal terminal, they release acetylcholine by exocytosis, and that acetylcholine, it causes the contraction of the skeletal muscle. Because of that, we can move our hand, move our legs, and even many muscle, skeletal muscle, like breathing or heart rate. And these are the functions which are necessary. The neurotransmitter acetylcholine is necessary for all this function, even daily movement activity of our hand, even the breathing activity also required acetylcholine as a neurotransmitter. And it is also responsible for memory and mood, this neurotransmitter. So how the acetylcholine are formed? So acetylcholines are formed at the neuronal axonal terminal, and where the dietary acetylcholine is taken up by the axonal terminal, and the acetate is from the mitochondria, and then because it required one enzyme, acetylcholine transferase, and choline and acetate, because these two components, they form the acetylcholine, and those acetylcholines are packed in the vesicle and released in the synaptic cleft. So, and as a neurotransmitter, and it causes the muscle contraction where many functions of the body are carried out. So the choline, acetylcholine is formed, or the choline is one of the component of acetylcholine, and this neurotransmitter is very important for our body. So choline have the structural importance of choline containing molecules are like betaine, acetylcholine, and phosphatidylcholine. These are membrane cell membrane and the neurotransmitter, and the betaine is the methyl donor. So why dietary choline is very important for our body? Because it have the neurotransmitter, and it affects in the brain function, and also gives the structural integrity of the cell. It also gives the membrane integrity, and when choline is oxidized, they form the betaine. And why betaine is important? Because betaine, along with the folate and vitamin 6, they convert the homocysteine to methionine. Then methionine, this conversion is very important, and methionine from the SAM. That is, the full form is I have given here. So this SAM is very important, and it is a methyl donor for DNA methylation. So DNMT and DNA methylation and methyl histone methyl transferase, and these are very important DNA methylation because it have many functions. It prevent or modulate the gene expression. Many of the gene have to be suppressed in many tissues. So some of the genes have to be suppressed. They should not be expressed in some of the specific tissue. So indirectly the choline provide the methyl donor, and where DNA methylation they modulate the gene expression or the normal functioning of the body. When there is a deficiency of choline, continuous deficiency of choline, then DNA methylation may be affected, and modulation of the gene expression or the gene expression may alter and may give the many neuronal disorder or the many organ disorder. It may form the many organ dysfunction. So that is why this is one of the very important during early development of the fetus. We need sufficient methyl donor, and choline is one of the part of the methyl donor. And DNA methylation, they suppress the expression of some of the genes, and because all the genes should not be expressed in every tissue, every cell, so that regulation is carried out. One of the method is DNA methylation. So when there is deficiency of choline, continuous deficiency during fetal life, there may be many abnormalities or disorder, neuronal disorder may be seen. And choline, it is a epigenetic which modulate the gene expression, and it is suggested that this epigenetic effect, the expression of the gene, are prevented or suppressed. So SAM is a methyl donor. It has changes many regulatory function of the genes, and it alters the gene expression, and it also involved in the learning, memory, behavior, and cognitive function of the brain. So if there is deficiency of the choline, then it may be affected. So the choline supplement is advisable for prenatal, postnatal, adolescent, adulthood, and aging. And the epigenetic effect also seen by the many factors like toxic chemicals, drug abuse. So these are many of the components can affect they cause the epigenetic effect of the body and may lead to some of the disease conditions. So epigenetic effect not only epigenetic affect our daily exposure of many component, chemical, toxic, also affect our behavior or other function of the brain. But here choline also important to maintain the normal functioning of the nervous system. So choline and betaine are methyl donor involved in one carbon metabolism with vitamin B12, folate, and methionine. The demand for choline is increased in pregnant and lactating women, as well as post-menopausal women, because it has been seen that some of the anxiety, depression, also the choline deficiency may lead to depression or anxiety. So supplementation of choline helps in the neuronal functions or cognitive function of the brain. So also it has been seen that choline deficiency, continuous choline deficiency may lead to fatty liver or even lead to carcinoma. So because choline also helps in lipid transportation from liver to the circulation. So this choline, dietary choline is necessary, and adequate intake is 425 milligram for women, 550 milligram per day for men, and egg contain 164 milligram of choline. So this choline, it has many physiological rules. One of the significant is that our nervous system development. So dietary choline supplementation is essential during pregnant or essential for the fetal life, postnatal life, as well as throughout the life. So egg is one of the good source of choline. So egg is a good dietary supplement of the choline. Okay, thank you.